Hey Savvy people, it's Savvy Nick here, and today we'll be going through how to install MX Linux. We'll first download it, then I'll explain how to flash it onto a disk, we'll boot that disk, and finally run through how to install it on an empty storage space of your choice. I'm here on the MX Linux website. I'll go ahead and put a link in the description below. And right on their front page, you'll see a download MX Linux. They make it really easy for us. Instead of having to search around, it's right on their homepage. So let's go ahead and hit download MX Linux, and then we'll be taken to the download links. If you're new and stopping by to watch an install today, please take a moment to subscribe below and hit the notification bell for more videos. The current release is MX 19.1, and they've made some small package updates as well as updated the kernel and a few other things. What we're interested in is the direct download, and we can select between mirrors here on this page. So let's go ahead and hit mirrors. And here you can see that we have plenty of mirrors to choose from, where there's a map of all of them. But what we want to do is go ahead and scroll down towards the bottom, where we see a bunch of mirrors available to us. And since I'm in the US, I'm going to go ahead and search for the US of A. And this mirror will be fine for me, this California one. So they have three different images here: an x64 for a 64-bit architecture, i386 for a 32-bit architecture, and then you have the AHS_X64. So this is the advanced hardware support, I believe is what AHS stands for in the 64-bit version. This is more of the latest and greatest hardware support that's available to Linux, although it does come with a few drawbacks such as stability. So this is only suggested for more advanced users that don't necessarily care about stability and want to be on the cutting edge. So what we're going to select is the x64-bit version, since I have a 64-bit version, since I have a 64-bit processor. And you can see that the download has begun. And now that I've downloaded the ISO, I'm going to launch the Balena Etcher app in order to flash the image onto a USB, CD, or DVD of my choice. So let's go ahead and launch Balena Etcher. Just type it in and launch it here. Balena Etcher is an easy-to-use application available for Windows, Mac, and Linux. I'll go ahead and put a link in the description below if you want to download the application. You can also use any other application that can create a bootable disk, such as UNetBootin or Rufus. The first thing we're going to do is select an image, and that image is the one we just got done downloading. So you see I have MX 19.1, x64 available here. I'm going to go ahead, select that image, and then hit open. Following that, I'll go ahead and select a storage device that I want to go ahead and flash the installer onto. So if you go ahead and insert a USB and you don't already have one in here in your computer, it will automatically pop up just like it did here. But you can also hit the change button if you have more than one USB, CD, or DVD in your computer, and then select between which one you want to flash. Make sure you select one that has nothing on it, because all of its contents will be erased and everything will be overwritten with the MX Linux installer. So once you have the proper USB, CD, or DVD selected, go ahead and hit continue, and then finally hit the flash button, where it's going to ask you for some administrative privileges. Go ahead and allow it. And after you flash the disk, you'll take it over to the computer or server where you want to install MX Linux on, and then you'll insert it. After that, you will have to boot into your BIOS in order to change the boot order around and select the newly created bootable disk to be the first to boot. This is usually done by finding the correct key to boot into BIOS for your particular computer. It's usually one of the F keys, such as F2 or F10. Then you'll find a tab, usually called boot order, and exchange the order around so that the bootable disk is the first to boot. After you have that set up, you will save and exit out of your BIOS, and you should see a screen similar to this if you did everything correctly. If you went ahead and made it this far, please hit the like button. It really does help me out. Alright, and if you see the screen, you've successfully made it to the install portion. What we want to do is go ahead and select the first option, which is the MX 19.1 x64, and it tells you the date of the last update, so February 15th, 2020, just a few days ago. Let's go ahead and press enter, and then give it a few moments here to load up. And now we have loaded into the live image of MX 19.1, where we'll begin to install MX Linux. If you do want to go ahead and just try out MX Linux 19.1 temporarily, you can use the live image, but none of your settings will be saved because it doesn't exist on your storage space quite yet. It does tell you there's a default username called demo and a default password called demo, and then the root password is root if you want to log in and out of a user or use the root user. I'm going to go ahead and close out of this greeting and then click on the installer option here. As you can see, it says install Linux and it is a desktop configuration file. So let's go ahead and double click on that, and then we'll get the installer to launch. As you can see here, it says MX Linux installer at the top, and just gives you a little bit of information here about MX Linux. The first thing you can do here is change the keyboard settings. So if you click on change keyboard settings, you can change it to whatever variant that you have. If you hit the add button, you can change between multiple different languages here. So make sure to select the one that you need for your keyboard layout before moving on with the installer. For me, US English is just fine, so I'm going to keep that. And then we'll get booted right back into the installer. The following thing we'll do is hit the next button once we've confirmed we have the proper keyboard. So for a more advanced method, we can go ahead and modify the partitions by ourselves by running the partitioning tool. As it says, this is only optional, but if we go to the next section where it says select the type of installation, we can auto install using the entire disk. This means it will use the whole disk for the installation of whatever storage device that we select here. And as you can see, it says using the disk SDA, the first one that it detected and the only one that it detected on my system. It's 32 gigabytes. If you have more than one disk available, make sure you select the proper disk, because whatever one is selected will have all of its contents deleted. So make sure that you have a storage space that is completely clear of anything on it. Otherwise, you risk losing everything that's currently located on it, meaning all of your data. So now that I've confirmed I have the proper disk selected, I can encrypt it or not. If I check this box, it will encrypt the disk. All that means is that you'll have to enter a password in order to get to your disk, as well as your user password when you're logging in. Some people like to do this, so go ahead and encrypt it if you want to. And the final option here is if you want to leave any free space at the end of the storage space. So if you don't want to use the full 32 gigs for just MX Linux, you can go ahead and specify how many megabytes you want to leave at the end of the disk, so it has the availability for other platforms or other installs that you want to go ahead and put towards the end of the disk. So once you have everything selected properly, go ahead and hit next. Now it's warning you one last time and asking you, is it okay to format using the entire disk, the one you've chosen, SDA, for MX Linux? If you are positive that that disk contains nothing important on it and is a free storage space, you can go ahead and hit the yes button. Otherwise, you'll want to hit no. And at this point, the installation will start progressing, as you can tell here at the top. What we have down here is to select a boot method, so you can go ahead and install a grub bootloader for Linux and Windows. So if you have Windows side by side, this will be important for detecting both boot partitions. So the next thing, you can select what type of, here you can decide on what location you want to install on, the MBR or PBR. I believe the master boot record should be just fine for me. And then the system boot disk is the disk where you want to install the bootloader on, so the one that we had selected that we're currently installing the new system to. That's exactly where we'd want our bootloader. Otherwise, you won't be able to boot into your newly installed system. So you'll want to make sure you select the proper storage space which you're installing your new system on. And you will need to install the grub bootloader, especially if you are completely erasing your disk and installing just MX Linux on it. The only time you wouldn't need this is if you already have some other platform that already has a bootloader like Grub or Windows, and you don't want the two to conflict. So go ahead and hit next once you have that selected. Then we get to type in a computer name. So mine's going to be called SavvyNick. My computer domain is going to be, just do savvynick.dom here. Samba server is for networking Windows computers together with Linux. If you want, you can go ahead and select this. This is usually a good thing because sometimes Windows servers or computers exist on the same network as Linux, and this is a great thing to have in order to network those together between Linux and your Windows devices. So the work group, I'll just keep work group, that's fine for me. and I'll hit next. Following this, we get to choose a locale. The default for me, United States American English, is fine. You can go ahead and select yours, whatever that is, and then configure your clock. So I'm in the Americas, so that's perfect. And let's see, New York is fine for me, so the default's okay. You will want to select this per your time zone, and then you can select between the standard time format or the military time format here. And check this box if you want the system clock to use the local time. Finally, we have the service settings, which are advanced settings, which we won't bother with. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit next. Now we get to create a user. So my base user is going to be SavvyNick. So then we get to go ahead and put a password in and confirm that password. So I'm just going to type it in. And once they match, they will turn green. And then for the root password, you can go ahead and put a password in as well. So go ahead, put one in and confirm that password. You can hit the show passwords and you'll be able to see these so you can confirm what you've put in. Auto login allows you to log into your desktop without having to put a password in for a user. I don't suggest using this because anyone would be able to reboot your computer and log into a user and make changes. So I usually try avoiding checking this box. And finally, the last little option here, which is a nice option. If you've made any changes to your live desktop, the background here, you can go ahead and select this checkbox in order to go ahead and pull all the changes that you've made into your newly installed MX Linux desktop environment. So go ahead and select this if you've made any changes and you want to keep them. Finally, hit the next button and give it a few moments here. It's going to finish installing Grub. So MX Linux is developed by the antiX and former MEPIS Linux communities and deploys an XFCE desktop as its default. It builds off the Debian stable branch and is considered a semi-rolling release. MX Linux also considers itself a middleweight distribution that has a lot to offer for everyday users and is well balanced between the performance and user-friendliness spectrum. It's become one of the most popular distributions for people making the switch over from Windows or other platforms to Linux. Finally here we have the reboot screen. So while rebooting, you'll want to make sure you go ahead and remove any installation media that may be in the computer so you don't boot back into the installer or the live image of the system. Otherwise, you'll have to reboot once more and take out the media to get to your newly installed system. So I'll go ahead and make sure that this is selected, automatically reboot the system. And we're going to go ahead and hit the finish button. So it might take a moment here while it reboots. And here we get a nice little warning that we can go ahead and remove our installation media before continuing. So go ahead and remove it at this time and then go ahead and press enter once you have removed things. This really does help, and I like when distributions give you this message. That way you know when you can go ahead and remove your installation media. Go ahead and press enter once you've done that. And the system will automatically boot into MX Linux here. And in front of me is the login screen. So there's the user that we created. If you create multiple users, you will be able to use the drop down available to you right here. Go ahead and enter the password that you created during the installer. And finally, once things are booted up, you'll be welcomed by the welcome screen once more. But now we have the full install here. So welcome to your new MX Linux 19.1 desktop. At this point, you've successfully installed MX Linux on your computer. Congratulations. I'm going to go ahead and exit out of these updates. Here you can see the welcome screen, which just guides you through a few things here, like the forums, videos for MX Linux, how to contribute, as well as the user's manual, a wiki page, and frequently asked questions. There's also more stuff available. And if you want this to show up every single time you log in, you can check this box. Otherwise, you'll go ahead and hit the close so you can explore your desktop. So let's go through it real quick. Here on the left-hand side, we have the availability to log out. We have the time currently and the date, as well as the time and date here on the right-hand side. And it tells you how the hard disk is being taxed, as well as the memory and the CPU, the current utilization of all of those. You have quick links to the manual and frequently asked questions, since these are commonly needed things. And then on the left-hand side, to continue on our taskbar, as you can see, the taskbar is located on the left-hand side of MX Linux. We have Firefox, our default web browser, then the file manager here, so we can go ahead and cruise through the files on the system, as well as directories. much like what you see in Windows. Then we have the volume control and the updates that we went ahead and exit out of for now. You'll go ahead and make updates through here. You can just click on this box if you want to eject any media that you have. And then you have the Ethernet's network settings for the current active network. And at the bottom you have workspaces available to you, so you can select between two different workspaces. And if you hit this button, it's much like a start menu, which runs through your system programs and the subcategories that they belong to. So if we want to go ahead and use multimedia or perhaps a word processor, we can do that in here as well. I believe LibreOffice is what MX Linux comes with by default. So if we go to the Office suite, you can see that LibreOffice is already installed for us. The user is up here on the top left, and then you can go ahead and type in, if you're searching for something, let's say Libra here, I spelled that Libra, and you can see all the searches that come from lib. So you can also log in, log out from this side too, as well as resize the start menu to however you like. Let's go ahead and exit out of that. And that was really just a quick run through of the MX Linux desktop environment. I hope you enjoyed this installation tutorial of MX Linux, and if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please post them in the comments section below. Also, make sure to subscribe for future videos and make sure to like the video. Thanks for watching.